A new missile is rolling to the front lines in Europe. Vladimir Putin says the Oreshnik missiles will be on combat duty by the year end. That's a few days away. This will be backed by nuclear-powered Oreshnik and Poseidon. The missile, called Unstoppable by Moscow, is on Europe's doorstep. Range, speed, and anxiety are all rising together.
The message from Moscow is blunt. Russia's next-generation arsenal is no longer theory. Oreshnik, a hypersonic missile, is moving from test pad to combat duty, with deployment in Belarus designed to extend Russia's strike reach deep into NATO territory. The Oreshnik is a next-generation hypersonic nuclear-capable menace designed to pierce any Western defense system. Moscow claims the missile, which means hazel tree in Russian, is capable of Mach 10 speeds and near-zero intercept probability, equipped with multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle, basically an adversary's worst nightmare. NATO too is making major military moves. Troops are being redeployed to eastern borders. Germany is all set to deploy several intermediate-range American missiles in 2026. Among them are Dark Eagle, Standard Missile 6 and Tomahawk cruise missiles. The Russian president says that he wants to achieve his goals via diplomacy, but asserts negotiating peace with the Europeans is unlikely.
We are ready to hold talks and to resolve all the issues that have arisen in recent years by peaceful means. The US administration is showing such readiness, and we are conducting dialogue with them. I hope the same will happen with Europe. It is unlikely that this will be possible with the current political elites, but in any case, it will become inevitable as we continue to strengthen. If not with the current politicians, then with a change of political elites in Europe.
Let's now try to understand what makes Oreshnik so dangerous. Flying at speeds of 12,300 kilometers per hour, it is stealthy and maneuverable, making it almost unstoppable. The massive range of over 5,000 kilometers puts several European capitals in its range. From London to Paris, this missile can reach in less than 10 minutes when launched from Belarus. NATO is well aware of the capabilities of these new Russian weapons. The tension is palpable. UK military chief says that Britain must get better prepared to deter the threat of conflict, particularly from Russia. Moscow, for its part, dismisses talk of an impending clash as hysteria, arguing that Oreshnik in Belarus and nuclear-powered Burevestnik and Poseidon are responses to what it sees as Western pressure, missile defense and NATO expansion. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Professor Peter Kuznick is a professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University. Is now joining us live from Washington, D.C. Professor Kuznick, it's good to see you and thank you very much for your time. Oreshnik missile is tipped for combat duty by the end of the year. What does this mean for Europe?
You put this announcement together with the results of the Berlin meeting that just took place, and it's clear that we're on the verge of World War III. I've seen the statements by Merz, Macron, Starmer, Rutte. Rutte, the head of NATO, said that Europe is the next target. So this idea that now that Russia is clearly winning in Ukraine, that after Russia gets its victory in Ukraine, it's going to come after the rest of Europe, is the way the European leaders are scaring their publics into supporting this vast remilitarization across Europe right now. and the Russians are responding in kind. But the point that Putin made there, that either we're going to, that this current group of leaders is not going to be capable of talking peace with Russia. We look at the approval ratings. Macron's approval rating fluctuates between 11 and 15%. Starmer's approval rating is 19%. Merz's approval rating is 23%. Zelensky's approval rating before this latest corruption scandal had been in more than 60%, is now down below 20%. So what we're seeing is the danger of World War III being started by leaders whose approval ratings, own publics, don't like them at all and don't support them. But these are the people in charge, and it's just getting more and more dangerous by the day.
Professor, let me just continue on that point that you made, and I'll actually read to our viewers again what the president of Russia did say. We are ready to hold talks and to resolve all the issues that have arisen in recent years by peaceful means. The U.S. administration is showing such readiness, and we are conducting dialogue with them. I hope the same will happen with Europe. It is unlikely that this will be possible with the current political elites. Now that you've pointed out that the political elites, the presidents of these European countries, are incapable of solving the issue in Ukraine, what choices does Ukraine have? Because it has been going, or the president has been going to Europe for, comfort.
I think Ukraine keeps getting led down this delusionary path. We start with the Minsk II agreement. Had the Europeans and Ukraine actually abided by that, as Russia wanted to, there would have been no invasion. The Donbass would still be part of Ukraine, and this whole tragedy could have been avoided. Then you had the Istanbul Accords, which again was going to end this back in March and April of 2022. And Boris Johnson flies into Kyiv and tells Zelensky, don't give in, keep fighting, and the Europeans are going to support you with unlimited support militarily and financially. And now this meeting in Berlin is the same thing, I'm afraid. When we get closer and closer to ending this at the bargaining table, the Europeans are pushing Ukraine to keep fighting right now. What is this going to look like 6 months from now? More Ukrainians dead, Russia controlling more Ukrainian territory, more Ukrainian infrastructure destroyed. This is a fool's path that we're on now, and the danger of World War III. The hawkish statements coming out of Britain and Germany and France and Brussels scare me very much right now. Back on June 11th, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, issued a 2.5-minute video saying we're closer to nuclear annihilation today than we've ever been before.
Okay.
Then we just had Oreshnik, the head of Russian intelligence, the head of the SVR, saying that this is the most fragile moment for international security since World War II. We should listen to them. They know what they're talking about. And so that's why I think these leaders are delusional and dangerous right now. We need to end the fighting in Ukraine, and we need to resolve all the tensions out there the way the global South has been pushing, the way the BRICS have been pushing. The fact that India and China are trying to have friendlier relations and work together as the co-leaders of the global South is potentially very promising right now.
Professor Kuznick, we'll have to end it there. Thank you very much for all your insights and for talking to us today.
Thank you for having me.